Welcome back, everybody. So today, we're going to talk about data types. Specifically, we're going to talk about primitive data types. So what are they, right? So before we get on that, let's just continue on here. I'm just going to go to my package, go to new, and then I'll create another class. And I'll just call it my primitive data. You can call it whatever you want. Finish. As you can see, I don't have any main method. I'm just going to close this my class. I'm just going to type in main. I have that. And today we're going to talk about primitive data types. They can type. So there are primitive and then there are also non-primitive. So what are primitive data types, right? So let's just type in a couple of them. Primitive data types would be byte, short, int, long, float, double, Boolean, and char. Okay. And then there are also non-primitive data types. Non-primitive data types. And what are they? Those are things like strings, right? Then arrays and classes. Okay. We're going to talk about this afterward. For this lecture, we're going to talk about specifically primitive data types. So let's get a couple of spaces in there. So primitive data type specifies the size and the type of the variable, okay? And it has no additional methods. In Java, there are 8 primitive data types, okay? So there are 8 primitive data types in Java, okay? So let's go through every single one of them that we just mentioned over here. I'm just going to copy this. Okay. So now, what are they, right? You know how we talk about 1 byte, 2 byte, 4 bytes, 8 bytes, and all those. So usually what that means is byte right here. This first one is 1 byte, short is 2 byte, then it's 4 byte, long is 8 byte, float is 4 byte, double is 8 byte, Boolean is 1 byte, char is 2 bytes. Okay, so it usually increases by about double, 2. I'm sorry, twice as much. So what this means, let's just see, whenever we talk about bytes, what does that even mean, right? What does this thing specifically stores? So byte specifically stores whole numbers, okay? So if we want to know, what number to what number, if we say, whether let's use a byte, let's use a short, let's use an int, let's use a long, how do you know which one to specifically use, right? Is because in programming, whenever we talk about programming, we were working with memories. And whenever we were working with memories, obviously we want to save as much memory as possible, because more memory we use, well, more resources they are using. So we want to limit the memory size. So if I want to get the number, like what byte, what does that number actually holds, right? So if I was to do s out, right? And then let's say I do byte, the first one, byte dot, and you can see I have all these different options, right? I have all these different options that are over here, okay? So in this one, what we're going to do, we're going to do the min value and the maximum value, okay? So here, you're going to learn about this later on, but I'm just going to concatenate the number, what that means, I'm just going to say byte minimum, right? I'm just going to say that. And then I'm just going to copy this just because I don't feel like typing. I'm lazy today. And then I'm going to say byte dot, just like we have min, right now we're going to do max, okay? Maximum value. So let's actually try to run this thing, see what we get. Byte maximum value. The only reason I put this here is just so you can tell that this is showing whatever the minimum value is, and this thing is showing whatever the maximum value is. It's just easier to read, I guess. That's all, nothing else. As you can see, the minimum value it holds is minus 128, maximum is 127. Okay, so let's do it for the rest of them. So it'll be easier, right? Again, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. The only thing we have to do, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, remember, there are 8 primitive data types, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So we have 8. So in this one, we already did byte. So let's do short. Then we have int, long, then float, long float, then double, well, it only holds true and false, so for Boolean and char, right? So we cannot really well do anything about that, right? So I'm just going to take this thing out. So now double minimum value, maximum value. So instead of this where we have byte, all those, so we have to change that with whatever we have here, right? So you can just say short, right? Short, then the integer, long. So make sure you guys are getting the one with the capital, okay? So again, there's, I can write it lowercase or uppercase, but don't get the lowercase one, get the uppercase one. Float, it says Java lang, so get that one. Float, and then double. As you can see, like I can also type in lowercase, right? So that thing, like lowercase is there, but get the capital one. So let's try to save this thing and run it again. Right there. Okay. Byte minimum is this, maximum is this, right? And then the short minimum is minus 32,768 to positive 32,767. And then int holds this much value, basically. I'm not sure how many is that. That's 100,000. This one, that's 2 billion, and whatever this number is. That's a big number. And then obviously you have all this thing. You can just go through that. And then, as you know, Boolean is just true and false, and char can just hold one specific character. Okay. Hopefully this was helpful, guys. On the next lectures, we're going to go a little bit more in depth, as we move forward. But yeah, hopefully this was helpful to you guys. Yeah, thank you guys.